Hello everybody. I want to go over this presentation with you because this will go over a discussion board that uses MLA citation and also the same citation you will use for your MLA essays that you will write for the remainder of the semester. So even though this is a discussion board, it is a good example of how to incorporate MLA format into your own presentation. The first thing I want to look at is this document. There's an acronym called ICE, I-C-E. The ICE is for, if you're going to use a quotation, introduce the quotation first, or the citation. Who is it by? Is it someone, an expert in the field? If so, you should mention that before you actually write the quote. So after you've introduced the quote, cite the quote, give it word for word if you're using a direct quotation. And then after you've done that, E for explain. Explain the quote. How does it tie into your paper? In the past, I have students who just drop in a quotation into their paper and it doesn't even mesh. It doesn't even flow well. It's like the quotation just poof, there it is, and it doesn't really flow or make sense. So this way, if you introduce the quote, cite it, use the quotation marks, and then explain how it fits into the paper, I think you'll be good, because then I'm not surprised by just a quote showing out of nowhere. Next, this is a discussion board from last semester. If you notice here, I don't think Mama and Kofer should have acted differently. They had a clear topic sentence. Then they go on and they had to use MLA format to support their discussion board post. So here they used they introduced the quote. Because this quote came from our reading, it was a little different, but if you look here, for instance, when Mama was mocked by the three poor white trash girls, it must have been hard for her to be so inwardly calm. Here they're introducing the quote that's to come. Then this student did put the quote, bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. And then they put Angelou, because that's who wrote the novel, and then it came from page 32. So they cited it. So again, they introduced it. They introduced Mama. Then they cited it. They gave the quote. They told us the author and the page number. And then down here, they go on to explain it. But before they explain it, they actually added another quote. So they cited again. They continued. And this time, if you notice, they only used page 32. They did not have to say Angelou 32 because we already know that it's coming from the same book. However, if there was a different author, then we would put that author, page 32. Again, since it's Angelou, we don't have to add it again. And then after this student had put in their quotes, they went on to explain them and how they fit well into the discussion prompt. Again, they did it again, introduced the next quote. This time they took it from Kofer, 236, page 236. They give the quote and then they explain how it fits in. Here's the work cited. I know this is a discussion board, but for me, for my class, from now on when we have discussion boards that are due, you will have to include a work cited at the bottom. It's a little different than what we will do in the MLA format because of the discussion board, but follow this here. It's the same. You can look on page 730 in the book. It'll show you how to. And since Kofer was a C, we put Kofer first. Actually, they put Kofer first with the C. However, Angelou should have come first in the work cited. So Angelou because it's A if we were to go by alphabetical order. But again, look on page 730 and page 729. If you walk through it, you will be able to see how to complete a works cited properly. So I'm just going to review this very quickly. First of all, know the acronym ICE. Introduce who is the quote written by, cite the quote, and then explain how the quote fits into your paper well. Come up here. This is a discussion board. However, whether you're doing a discussion board prompt or writing an essay, the MLA format for my class is the same. Read this over, follow along, Add the works cited to it. Even though this is a discussion board in my class, I want you to start adding works cited when it's appropriate, because it's good practice for when you write your long research paper toward the end of the semester. Again, look on page 730 in the back of your patterns book. They do a very good job for using the MLA format. Also, if you have trouble there, go to OWL Purdue. It's Purdue University. It's their online writing lab. They have everything. So take it, for instance, if you wanted to MLA, let me make this bigger for you, excuse me. So if you were going to quote something inside, your in-text citation inside your actual writing, click here. Oh, you know what, I'm using a book by one author. They tell you how to do it. Everything is very, very clear. Author page citations, citing work from multiple authors. Maybe you have two authors who wrote the same book. They show you how to write that. So you have two resources at your disposal. One, use your patterns book, and two, use the OWL Purdue website. I'm actually going to put a direct link into our Blackboard for OWL Purdue so that you can go to it more quickly. Okay, everybody, I hope this helps. Just remember, MLA format. If you have any questions with it, just let me know. Take care. Bye.